Hey friends, I'm here with a short video about macros, and I'm going to concentrate today's video about making macros when you're multi-boxing, and one of those boxes is your Enchanter. So what are good macros to make for an Enchanter? Here is my Enchanter. Let me auto follow. One of them, of course, the ever famous auto follow. I know it's terrible, but if you're not using third-party software, auto follow is all we got. So you got to use it for, running around, right? What are some of the other things? Well, there's the assist key, which is usually what I press first. And the assist key is just a timer 10, and that's just there to show you that it's been pressed. So for example, if I press it, you'll see there the button turns red for a second because it shows that it's been pressed. Next, we have XTAR1, and that just means extended target 1. So it goes to this first window. And what do I have in the first window? If I right click, you'll see here the star is on group assist target. So as long as I have Fezziwig here as main assist, then their target will be here in extended target 1 every time, just whatever Fezziwig is targeting. So let's try this out as an example. Let's have Fez target this beetle over there, and then we'll look at Fezzlewin, and you see here, yes, the beetle is right here. So if I were to press this button, I would automatically target that, and then I would send my pet into attack. And I notice I don't have a pause between XTAR1 and pet attack. That's because the command, X extended target 1 is so much faster than /assist Fezziwig. So you don't need a pause. It's pretty much instant. So I have /pet Q attack, which is a lot like /pet kill or /pet attack. But the difference is that, say there's a second, there's an ad, and then I hit this command again, Q attack. It means that the pet is not going to go and attack the second target until it's done with the first one. So you're queuing up targets, right? And I believe that you need to have this command sort of activated through AAs, especially as an Enchanter. You're not going to have it right away because you can't command Enchanter pets right away anyway. But as you see here, I've unlocked that with AAs, so I actually can command my pet. And then I have a pause here, pause 28, cast 5, right? And cast 5 is Echo of Tashan. And normally you'd have any kind of Tashani related spell here, which is a magic debuff, right? Because you want to debuff your target. And then number 4 is Desolate Deeds, which is the slow spell. And that's all I have right there, and that's all I need. And you might say, well, why don't you have a dot or another debuff or something? I don't, because I want to send the Enchanter's pet in as like a little dot, a little extra DPS, right? And then magic debuff and slow the target. Because what if I have an ad? I want to get this done as quickly as possible, right? Because these are fairly fast spells. So then I can go over here and hit the Bewilderment spell, which I don't have a macro for that. And maybe it would be a good idea to maybe move it over here. And I could even make a macro just for my my sleep spell or my mez spell, whatever you prefer calling it. And the reason of this is, well, if I have 3 or 4 ads, I want to be able to mez them as soon as possible. So that's why I just have it like that. Another macro that I made for myself was a slow macro. and that's over here. So let's say I've got something mezzed, but I want to make sure it gets slowed too. Well, I have casting Tosh again, just because sometimes I mez something without toshing it, right? A lot of times if I'm mezzing multiple things and I use this key, it's because I haven't toshed it yet at all. And then I have cast 4, which is the slow spell. So that's it. I'm just debuffing and slowing a target with this one. And then my other button here, I just called it nuke. Why? Because I'm casting spells 1, 2, 3, and 3. So what is that? That is thin air, and then mind scatter, and then polychromatic assault, which is just basically the Enchanter's nuke spell. So since these two, strangle type spells actually stack with each other, I have them both being cast, so I'm doing double dot damage, and this other one I just cast it a couple of times for some nukes, and that's usually enough to get the Enchanter to do a little damage. And this is usually because a lot of times my Enchanter has more mana than anyone else. I don't know why. I think Enchanter spells are just really cheap on mana, which is nice, I'm not complaining. So a lot of times my mage is a little bit low on mana, so I use the Enchanter. I use the Enchanter to cause a little bit of extra damage, and it works out well. So these are some of the macros I have on my Enchanter that I use really often, and I think if you're boxing an Enchanter, these are some of the ones you might want to have. You can have a macro that may use some kind of alternate advancement ability as well, but I figure I'll just cover these because these are pretty basic. These can cover you pretty much from, starting level, maybe not 1, but like 10, 20, all the way up into level 80, 85 and beyond. Because this is very similar to what my level 97 Enchanter has. They've got the quick casting magic resist debuff and slow spell, and then sending in the pet, because I almost never use a charmed pet anymore, especially since the charm has been kind of nerfed. You used to be able to recast charm on a charmed pet before it wore off, increasing the effectiveness and the safety of the whole thing. But now you can't recast charm until the thing is, broken free and killing you. So I usually just use my mage for, doing the main damage and everything. And it works really well. So let's actually pull something here real quick, just to sort of show you how it works. And I do have a couple of other characters in the group here that will add some extra damage. So let's go for this beetle here. I'm going to pull that here with the mage using the Mallow spell. And of course, the mercenary ran in, sending in my pet. So this is the Enchanter now. I'm going to hit the assist key. And you see pet ran in. I did Tosh. Now I'm doing Desolating Deeds. All right. Now, since they're already slowed, I can hit my third key, which is the nukes button. And then I'll switch to my other two accounts real quick to do what they do. But you see there, I'm casting the 2 dots. And then now I'll be casting Polychromatic Assault. So that went very smoothly. I'll pull one more. And unfortunately, the pathing in this zone is just awful. So a lot of times they run around all over the place. But you see there, again, I cast Tosh and Desolate Deeds, right? And then I can go and hit my nuke. And then so I'm casting Thin Air. And then I'm casting Mind Shatter. And then I should be casting, yeah, Polychromatic Assault. There we go. And it should cast one more time unless my timing is off. Okay, I think my timing is actually off. So let's fix that. Right now the cast time is 51 seconds. So let's take a look here at the nuke. Oh, there we go. There's the problem. I've got it at 40 seconds. So let's change it to 60. And that should be more than enough. So if ever you do make a couple of macros like that, and you notice that some of your spells are not casting, check on the timer. That's usually the culprit. A lot of times, maybe your cast time was lower because you had some other buff that reduced cast time. A lot of the cleric focus spells are really good for reducing cast time. But if it wears off, you know. So here we go. We're gonna move over there. We're gonna hit that assist key. And there we go. We got Desolate Deeds cast. Now we're gonna hit our nuke spell. And let's see what that does. So there's our 2 dots. And then we're gonna cast Assault. There's number 1. And there's number 2. Timing is perfect now, although it didn't get a chance to land because the thing died before it could land. So know too that you want to pay attention to your Enchanter's mana if you are casting that many spells, because if you do use them more often and you're casting dots and stuff like that, their mana might start to dissipate so much faster. So let's try this one more time. So there's dot number 1. Something went wrong because I didn't cast dot number 2. And again, so there's a little bit of an issue here. Like I said, if your spells are not casting correctly, check your timers. Maybe it's your timers. Maybe you can improve them. You might need to raise them a little bit. So we're trying this dot again, the 2 dots. Let's see. Let's try to get the 2 nukes. Both dots cast that time. So I think what does happen sometimes is, you know, you could still fizzle. You could still fizzle at high level. But there you go. That's my tip of the day, I guess. You know I've made videos like this in the past about assist keys and macros, but I want to start making class-specific macro videos about, well, what kind of macros do you use as an enchanter? What kind of macros would you use as a mage or a bard or a cleric and all that stuff? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing a bit of a series where I do videos on different macros, because a lot of people do ask often about macros and what are good macros to use. So I hope this helps somebody. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. Whether you like or dislike the video, please leave a comment and tell me what I did right or wrong in the video. What would you do to make the video better? If you like what I do here and you'd like to support me and support the channel, consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. Or better yet, you could join the channel as a channel member. Channel members get special perks and privileges, like a link to join the private Discord. We use the Discord to live voice chat during our streams and, you know, all that stuff. We hang out, we share memes, we share music videos, and all that fun stuff. So it's worth checking out. If YouTube memberships are not your thing, you could look at the link below the video for a link to my Patreon. Patreon patrons get similar perks like a link to the private Discord. All the videos on Patreon are also ad-free. No commercials on Patreon. You can also leave a super thanks on the video. A super thanks is like a little donation. It's sort of like buying me a cup of coffee. And we gnomes love our coffee. I would like to thank all my current YouTube channel members and Patreon patrons, and anyone who's given us a recent super thanks or super chat during a live stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Your support means the world to me, and you motivate me to keep going. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you found this one helpful. Have a great day and a wonderful tomorrow.